Hey guys, and welcome to another recent gaming episode. And I finally sat down and played the new episode of The Walking Dead Michonne, the little mini series that Telltale put out here in the last month or so. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been since this one came out, but it dawned on me a couple of days ago that I hadn't downloaded it yet. So I finally did it tonight. And I have to say that this may be one of the most disappointed, one of the most amounts of disappointment I've felt in a game that I've played in a long time. And I'll explain why. I think I tried to cover in the first episode's video just like how kind of let down I felt by this series so far. I think I already expressed a little disappointment in it and just in general. And that carried over into this one. But the majority of why why I felt disappointment with this episode in itself, most of it centered around how horribly it performed when I played it. I would say a good 2/3 of the game played with major stutter, major lag, and it was so bad that dialogue options or the ability to hit the right button at the right time so as to not to die fucked up enough that I did die a few times because of it. There were a couple times I died just because I didn't hit the right button at the right time, but there were also a few times when I died because I could hear the dialogue end and I knew that a choice had to be made and I was waiting for the choices to pop up on the screen. Then all of a sudden they did and I tried to make my choice and I was dead because I didn't hit the thing that I needed to do at the right time. I didn't, make the move when something happened or respond correctly. It was just really, really horrible. I remember a couple of times seeing YouTubers that I enjoy playing previous Walking Dead installments from the first 2 seasons, and maybe even Wolf Among Us, and their game played like this. It stuttered, it had issues. Most of those people were playing those games on PC, so I'm assuming there was something that they could do to try to fix it. For me, I didn't want to reset my console and have to go back in there and do it, so I just plowed through it because, hey, here's another one of the problems with the game. It's so fucking short. They're supposed to do, I believe, 3 of these episodes, and that'll take care of this little mini-series. And I swear each of these ends in much less than an hour, whereas the episodes from previous ones, I always felt like they went closer to an hour and a half to 2 hours. So by the time I get into the story and what's going on in this, it's done. It's over. There's a few characters that I like and then I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of an attachment to, but the least of which would be our main character, Michonne. As I said in the first episode, I'm kind of playing her as just a badass who doesn't really give a shit. And even though the game, storyline-wise, pushes her 2 daughters, that storyline and what went on with them in your face, and she acts like she's having these emotions, and I know that they want the players to kind of identify with that, but I'm curious to know what happened, but I have a feeling that it's something that's probably going to shine her in a bad light, and for the most part, especially with the enemies, the antagonists in this short little series, I'm just making her a fucking badass who kills people, who doesn't give a shit, and only in certain situations do I pick dialogue options that are kind of like, hey, I'm a real human being and there's something more to me than just this badass machine. But for the most part, I'm just continuing to play her as if she is just that. A badass machine with her machete, chopping, slicing, dicing, and killing zombies, bad guys, whatever, whoever gets in her way. I just, like I said, really mostly in this episode, disappointed at the sluggishness and the way that the game performed, and I'm disappointed at that it starts to feel like it's going to pick up, and then it's over. I want to know what happens. I want to know what the resolution to this will be. I want to know what happened with her kids. I want to know what happened with the rest of her and Pete's crew. I want to know what's going to happen with this family that she's somewhat involved with, this girl named Sam and whatnot, who's lost too many people. I want to know what's going on with it all, but I would love for them to give me some more than just, a 30 to 45 minute blip and then it's over with. And yet we're rolling into the last episode, which I think comes out next month, maybe within even a couple of weeks. If anything, it's just nice to be thinking about Telltale's Walking Dead, because season 3 is supposed to at least start sometime this year. That I'll be interested in. Then I could go back to my Clem's. She's the only one who's going to be in my playthrough, because for me, Lee is of course gone, and for me, Kenny is gone. So I'm just ready to see that one. This whets my appetite a little bit, but I want to believe that people from this series are going to end up in season 3, but at the same time I have a feeling that nobody will. So if that ends up being the case, I end up kind of feeling like it was a little bit of a waste of time and money to invest in this, but I don't know for sure on any of that, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, disappointed a little bit with this episode because of the technical issues, the short length, and just not feeling as much of a connection with the characters of this than I have felt with most of Telltale's efforts. So we'll see you guys next time when the next episode of this comes out, or whatever I manage to finish in between. See you guys then.